Welcome to Residential Tech Talks. I'm Jeremy Glowacki, Executive Editor of Residential Tech Today. On this week's podcast, Gordon Isaac joins us from Las Vegas, Nevada, where he is Chief Marketing and Strategy Officer for Origin Acoustics. Gordon is the third person from his current employer to be interviewed for the podcast, but this is Gordon's first appearance. Over the years, as he moved from core brands to AVAD to ProSource, Gordon and I connected quite a bit, and he wrote several really great articles for me. The last thing he wrote for RTT was about the outdoor audio and lighting system that he'd installed in his own Arizona backyard. That system, coincidentally, was from Origin Acoustics. Not too long after that, I believe it was about 6 months, he was hired by the company. Origin has been in the trade press a lot recently in the lead up to CEDIA Expo in Dallas. Just this week, for example, the company was named the U.S. brand manager for Bang Olufsen in the custom channel, expanding on an architectural loudspeaker co-design partnership that began in 2016. With CEDIA Expo coming up at the end of September, I thought now would be a great time to chat with one of Origin's newer faces to find out what brought him to his current role and what all his company has in the works. Gordon Isaac, welcome to the podcast. Great seeing you again.
Thank you. You as well. It's been a little while since we've seen each other in person.
It has, and I've been meaning to have you on here. And when my inbox is filled with Origin Acoustics news, I just have to follow up at some point and help me out. Like, tell me about it, because there's too much to keep track of. And I, as I told you before we went on here, you've got a nice press conference planned for Wednesday, right before the show opens at CEDIA Expo. And unfortunately, my boss, he got on my case to get an early deal on a Southwest flight, and I booked it too late in the day on Wednesday. So I'm missing the press conference. So this is my way of publicly getting a little bit of a preview and letting our audience in on a little bit of the stuff that's maybe already been announced, and tease a little bit of the things that may be still under wraps. So I do want to get into that, but I also, want to look back a little bit on where you came from and how you got to Origin. And you and I think, started to get to know each other while you were at Core Brands, but your background goes to being a dealer integrator. You spent some time at Crestron. I didn't even mention that in the intro. Obviously, AVAD and ProSource. Give me a little bit of a quick, thumbnail sketch of your career path. How long were you an integrator? Because that's always such a sort of centerpiece of everyone who is in this industry's life. If they didn't start in manufacturing, they were a dealer at some point. So was that a Las Vegas stop? I know you were in Vegas before this. What were you doing as an integrator?
So actually, I started out, it's getting close to 30 years, which dates me quite a bit, but I started out in car audio. So for a lot of the installers out there, they were big into car audio too. And I used to compete in car stereo competitions and as a kid. And my first job entrance into the industry was really through Audio King, which was a mid-fi retail place out of Minnesota. Oh. And eventually got bought out by Ultimate Electronics, which at that time, Dave Workman was the president and CEO of Ultimate Electronics. So, kind of tied into the industry early on in my career. But, as I like to say, some people went to school, I went to work. So, I loved car audio, I loved electronics. I was around during the launch of plasmas and the launch of DVD players and DivX even at the time. And in fact, we were even a Bang & Olufsen resell store at the time. Wow. Before Bang & Olufsen went with their franchise stores or factory type stores. Monobrand stores is what they refer to them now. So, but yeah, I've worked, one of the things that was important to me, you see people that kind of jump throughout the industry. We're a small, tight-knit community, which is great. I've always tried to find opportunities to learn more about different aspects of the industry to become more well-rounded. Because I think that if you stick within sales as an example, there's, you lose a lot of perspective that other people have. Like you mentioned, the experience you get from working as an integrator in the integration business, that does a lot when you're working with other integrators to better understand what they're going through. So, I've worked for a rep agency before. As you mentioned, I worked for Crestron. And then I worked for an integration company for about a year, going right into the recession, about 2009, 2008, 2009 timeframe, and started off there. It happened to be my largest restaurant account, and I was good friends with the owner. And we did a lot of residential and commercial. We had offices in Palm Springs. Here in Vegas was our main office, and then also in Tulsa, Dallas. And we were about $20 million a year in commercial and residential. And so that gave a lot of good experience. I managed the back end of the business with a lot of the marketing stuff, business development, and then eventually became CFO and took over the back end as we went through kind of some economic issues and started to right size the company. So, and that actually led me into going to Speakercraft, which is where I met up with Nick Berry, who's our CEO, and Jeremy Burkhart, and got to work with those guys. And really, if it wasn't for that interaction, I wouldn't have rolled into Core Brands, because Speakercraft got absorbed from that. That's where you and I met, and probably wouldn't be here today, because really the reason I'm here is because of the great relationships I established with Nick during the time together at Speakercraft and with Jeremy, and that kind of led to this opportunity.
Well, that you did distill it down very well. You've done this before, so I did not tie those lines together with Nick and Jeremy back at the Core Brand days or pre-Core Brand Speakercraft. So that is very cool. It's not a coincidence that you guys end up together.
No,
go ahead.
Yeah, it's a small world, a small industry, and I was talking to Nick. I have a consulting business that I've been doing for quite some time, kind of, after hours. And I really love this industry. And so it's been great to help under integration companies. It's been great to consult with a lot of manufacturers in the space, investment companies as well over the years. And so I was actually reaching out to Nick about some of those things. And he said, hey, we're growing so fast, like we're ready to, move forward and grow this even more. And we put things together about 5-6 months ago now, and it's been great.
Yeah. So you're coming in, that company didn't lack really strong sales leadership or executive leadership, frankly, really good folks at the top there. But what was it that he saw as an opportunity for you as the role that you were hired to do? You're coming in with some marketing chops, obviously. Is that the thing he wanted, was coming up with more partnerships with the marketing, branding, things like that?
I think that the thing that happens for a lot of our dealers out there is the same thing that can happen for manufacturers alike. I mean, businesses kind of have the same type of path, if you will, when it comes to growth. And so, Origin Acoustics has been fortunate enough to create a unique company and a different brand and a different way of going to market. If you think about it, when the brand was started, nobody needed another architectural speaker brand. And what Origin proved is that we weren't just another architectural speaker brand. And so the way that they built relationships, went to market, was very different and unique. And that caused for tremendous growth really quickly. Lots of dealer loyalty and just great partnerships. And so, what Nick was looking for was somebody that could help continue to grow that and scale that. Because there's a lot of moving pieces, and when you're growing quickly, as a lot of companies have over the last couple of years through the pandemic, there's things that get missed, right? And so there's processes and there's things that prevent you from being able to scale in the level that you want. And so that's really what it was about, was coming in and helping to oversee the sales team, because as much as we have great sales leadership, we've had a kind of a different go-to-market strategy. And so we've needed a little bit more focus in certain areas as we continue to expand. And then marketing's been an important thing, because we really haven't marketed much as a company. Our brand has really been about the relationships. And so, you'll see, I say we haven't marketed a lot, and yet you see our name out there quite a bit. You see people wearing our shirts. You see some people even have our tattoo of our logo on them. It's pretty wild, but we're not really heavily in the press until more recently. And then the other part of it is these partner relationships that we have, and this curated brand approach. When I started coming from core brands where we had a bunch of companies come together, I was trying to figure out like, how do we tell the story of what Origin Acoustics is doing and how it's different from a distributor or another company that's kind of working with multiple brands. And so we started to kind of craft that messaging around. And that's really what our big focus is as we go into CEDIA this year. We're calling it Origin Acoustics Evolved. And it's really the evolution of where we're going to. When Origin started, it was very much about people and personalities. We have a lot of very good, solid people on our team, from Nick and Jeremy, obviously. And you have Mark Fisher, who's amazing and been around for a long time. Miranda, we have Joe Whitaker. I mean, you mentioned this is the third person being interviewed from Origin, because we have a lot of great talent on our team. But at the same time, when you look at like where we're evolving to, we're getting away from being personalities and really focusing on being a brand, the brand being Origin. And so it's really less about the individuals and more about the team and the collective. Because at the end of the day, when you look at what our best go-to-market approach is, it's surrounding our customers with support and caring for their businesses. And so that doesn't matter if you pick up the phone and call our customer experience team, or you come into the showroom and get a tour from one of our people in marketing, or any team pretty much within the building. We're always all there to take care of the customer. And so that's really our brand now is Origin and not individuals. And so as we get into kind of that evolved messaging, that's really around kind of where we're going, which is a focus right now on what we're calling design-centric technology. And that's really, we understand that our industry is being impacted heavily by designers, architects, builders. And some companies have tried to do this early on, but I think they were a little bit too early to market. Now we're at the point where these influencing businesses and people are starting to really affect our projects and our customers' projects. And so what we're doing is really focusing on providing a solution for them, whether it's through us or through our curated partnerships that allow for our dealers to have that appropriate conversation with those influencers and to showcase a selection of products that really fit what these builders, these homeowners, these designers are looking for, which is high design technology. And we've always been an innovative company. And now with these curated partnerships, we can continue to innovate with others that are like-minded.
So let's get into some of the specifics of these partnerships. Obviously, I mentioned Bang Olufsen at the top there, and that's a big one for you. You as a company were helping to develop actual architectural loudspeakers for Bang & Olufsen with their badge on it, right? And this is a bigger partnership. So can you maybe just start by diving in a little bit into that, and we can talk about some of the other partnerships that have already been, or acquisitions that have filled out the line that were maybe last CEDIA news, but still would be good to kind of touch on. So maybe start with B&O.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Bang & Olufsen Bang & Olufsen actually, a lot of people don't realize, but started back when Speakercraft used to manufacture architectural speakers for everyone. Anyone who was selling architectural speakers in the early days were most likely sourcing them through Speakercraft. And so, those same founders of Speakercraft are investors in Origin. And that history, with Bang & Olufsen dates back to those early days, because we literally manufactured architectural speakers for them early on in the beginning. And so we started that again, back, like you said, 2016-ish timeframe, with an architectural line that was co-developed with Bang & Olufsen and sold through both our channel and their channel. And that relationship has really flourished over the last several years. And what Bang & Olufsen has seen is that we have a very good, strong go-to-market strategy and approach in the custom channel, which obviously they sell luxury products, and they have essentially a control platform within the Bang & Olufsen platform. And so they recognized there was an opportunity there for us to play a bigger role and work together closer. And so that's the announcement that just went out actually this week. And so we are now officially the brand managers for the US for the custom channel. So what that means is that we're going to be able to look at the individual marketplace, look at the monobrand stores, which are, the Bang & Olufsen stores, and find areas where we can complement those stores or provide additional support with Bang Olufsen, what we call CTIs, which are the custom integration dealers that will be able to sell those Bang & Olufsen products throughout the market. So, this is a very protected line. It's something that, we, Bang & Olufsen has never been over distributed, and we don't plan on doing that as well. But we want to find the right partners in the right markets and make sure there's a really strong Bang & Olufsen presence there. And we're both as companies, we're all in. I mean, we have a dedicated Bang & Olufsen team here, brand managers. We have direct employees that are working here from Bang & Olufsen. We're remodeling into a Bang & Olufsen experience center, but right now we have every product that Bang & Olufsen makes, and sometimes 2 or 3 of them on display. We're doing trainings that are here for Bang & Olufsen resellers. So, I mean, there's a lot going into this partnership. And it's a great opportunity for our industry because this is a real premium line that hasn't been available to the integration channel in quite some time. And now there's an opportunity for the right dealers to sell, what is arguably one of the top brands in technology and design available today.
Yeah, you were kind enough to give me kind of a FaceTime tour, virtual tour through the facility there in Vegas. And I was saying that, joking a bit, I was going to wait until you'd updated that the experience center. Nick had mentioned that there were some changes in the works, and I think he was hinting at this Bang & Olufsen relationship that's probably been in the works for a bit, but it's still quite impressive in its current form, and I can see how much there is dedicated space there to B&O. How many stores, or what's the geographic sort of spread of those facilities currently for Bang & Olufsen? I didn't do my homework and look that up myself, but how many?
Yeah, they have about 15 or so monobrand stores. Might be a little bit more. I'm not heavily involved in the sales side of that. Mark Fisher's really leading that project, or that partnership. So I'm involved a lot in the marketing, but I think there's about 15 or so, and so there's a lot of opportunity for us to add some good quality dealers out there. But again, we need to be respectful of those model brand stores that exist currently. But there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes to help make sure that partnership with Bang & Olufsen is beneficial for the mono brand stores as well as the new CTIs that we bring on.
We will continue our conversation with Gordon Isaac after the break.
Do you want superior smart home automation at a great value? Shelly Wi-Fi relays by Alterco Robotics cover DC to line voltage, allowing you to control lights, outlets, appliances, garage doors, pumps, and much more. There are Shelly sensors and power measurement devices to help you measure temperature, humidity, lux, or motion, and electrical consumption from single wire to 3-phase with neutral. You can use Shelly with a licensed driver for Control 4, Elon, or other premium systems, as well as your customer's existing hub, voice assistant, or any platform that accepts REST, MQTT, or CoAP. Shelly can make IoT very easy. Available now at Blackwire, City Electric Supply, and Worthington, or at shellyusa.com.
Welcome back. We're talking with Gordon Isaac, Chief Marketing and Strategy Officer for Origin Acoustics. Gordon, you and I were talking about the Bang & Olufsen partnership, and I know there are other partnerships and acquisitions that have been made to round out the Origin offering. So maybe just to sort of show that this is not just a one-off, what are some of those other branding partnerships? Mostly, though, I think last year what I learned from Nick at CEDIA Expo was the acquisitions and how those really help to fill, maybe some voids in outdoor that you had, or architectural, like, mud into the wall kind of opportunities, that sort of thing. So what is there that's part of the family now that was an acquisition, and maybe touch on some of those other partnerships?
Yeah, absolutely. So the acquisition was really with Ambisonic. And so Ambisonic, the founder of Ambisonic and the team from Ambisonic was the original founders of James Audio. And so, they had built James up, and then, essentially that had gotten sold off. And so a lot of that team had started up with Ambisonic, and we acquired them. So we have a good amount of that team still in place here in our design and engineering team. And so, it's been a really good opportunity because, I think the way we approach things is a bit different. A lot of times when people acquire companies, they kind of get rid of a lot of the people that built those companies, and then they start to kind of do their work with the brand. For us, it's important to have those people be part of the brand and continue to stay along and see through to the vision of what they had. So in addition to that, we've had, like I said, these curated partnerships that we've put together, which has been with Art Novian, which is a great acoustical treatment product line out of Portugal. And so we're the U.S. importer for that line, and we've also helped kind of contribute to how they're going to market with the line in the series, because it's one of those product lines that has thousands of SKUs. And so that could be very difficult for a lot of dealers out there who are trying to figure out how to get into offering acoustical treatments, but there's just overload of opportunity, right? So we've kind of worked with them to fine tune that. And so we're importing, and we will actually be stocking Art Novian products here in the next couple months. We have a couple huge containers on the way of backstock. And so we're going to make it so it's very streamlined and easy for dealers to sell the Art Novian line. Amina is another one of those curated partnerships. They make a phenomenal, very unique, invisible product. And, again, it's different from a traditional architectural speaker in that it's an omnidirectional speaker. And of course, the ability for it to be completely hidden, but it really fits into our design-centric technology approach to things. Audio Control has been a partner of ours for quite some time. We also OEM products for and co-develop products with Crestron. And so we have, there's a lot of these different partnerships in play. And then we have about 5 additional partnerships that we'll be announcing as we get closer to CEDIA. One of them being a very important and historic brand that we're going to bring back to the U.S. that I think people are going to be extremely excited about.
All right. Well, that's exciting. I'm curious what that is. I love the teaser. And I respect that you're not going to announce it ahead of your actual press release. So that's cool. No problem. For things that have been announced. So I know a little while back, you did the professional collection and ceiling speakers. And then more recently, the 70 volt surface mount speakers. So maybe talk about those since they're public and what makes those unique.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we've our products have been used heavily in commercial over the years, but we really haven't built out a full 70 volt line until, the last year or so, and then we haven't really promoted it heavily. So we have an architectural line of 5-inch, 6-inch, 8-inch, and an 8-inch sub that is in ceiling product that has 70 volt taps, 8 ohm capabilities, and full UL rated back box. We have pendant product. One of the things that makes that product extremely unique is that we designed it in a cylinder look instead of a conal look. The cylinder design allows us to put a passive radiator on the top of the product. And so that provides a lot better low end. We also think from a design standpoint, it looks better than the teardrop, conical design. And so, there's some cool benefits there. Those are available as well in a 5, 6, 8, and 8-inch sub coming soon. And then we have a new slim product that we announced, which, that's really a game changer for a lot of these guys because they get into these commercial spaces and there's, sprinkler system, fire system of some sort, whatever, plumbing, and they just don't have the depth of a traditional commercial product with a UL backend. And so this is a great problem solver for them. And the parts that have been missing for quite some time has really been the on-wall product. And so we actually co-developed that product with Crestron and made some slight changes to our product that meets more of what our customer needs are and the sound quality of our product line. But one of the things that's really unique about that line is that the mounting system really provides an infinite amount of angles and direction to mount. And it's a beautiful looking product as well. So, our focus, we're definitely going to continue to get into more commercial. We've done a decent amount of projects here in Las Vegas through commercial integrators and consultants that we've worked with. So the Green Valley Ranch, they're kind of all owned by similar people, but the Red Rock Casino outdoor pool area is all done with our ambisonic product. We also have ambisonic product at the Resorts World Suites, commercial private suites. And then we also have quite a bit of other product throughout the casinos out here. So, we're continuing to build out that line, and we really do have a very complete pro line of solutions available between the Origin line, and then you look at the ambisonic line with our outdoor product, our line array product that can work for live venues. Then you add into that the ambisonic solution, or the Arnovian solution for acoustical treatments for restaurants and conference rooms, those types of things. Amina works great in commercial applications. So when you start looking at like this curated approach, we have a very complete solution in commercial, and then of course we have a very complete solution in residential. And so it's really just been about picking our partners properly and making sure we have the right solutions that our customers need.
Yeah, and it sounds like being very responsive to your dealers, which has always been kind of a hallmark of companies run by Jeremy Burkhart. Listen to what the dealers are asking for, and try to be quick on finding that solution, developing something internally, or going out and partnering to get that done, so that they don't have to say no to something, or lack something, or go somewhere else for a piece that fits into a system. Right? It's a good partnership between the dealer and the manufacturer there.
Yeah, and the thing that's unique for us is that these relationships are not distributor relationships. There's co-development, and there's product development, and there's marketing strategies, and there's a lot of other things that some of them are public and some of them are not public yet, but there's a lot of things behind the scenes. And really what we're trying to do is really position ourselves as a leader within the space, and with everybody that we work with. I think our reputation has been quite the bit of, we like to have a good time, and it's ran by a pretty young group of people, and it's a fun company to be a part of. But at the same time, people do business with us because of who we are, but we also make great products, and we also understand where the industry is going and where the challenges are that our dealers have, and we want to fix those, and we want to remove those challenges and those obstacles. And so whether it's partnering closer with CEDIA, or partnering closer with Emerald and the different shows that they're involved in, or whatever it is, we recognize that we have an opportunity to truly lead in a lot of areas, especially when you look at the partnerships that we bring to the table, because it's not just us coming to the table, it's our partners as well. And so, when you look at a $1 billion company like Bang Olufsen, a $1 billion company like Crestron, a unique technology company like Amina, really one of the best acoustical treatment companies out there with Arnovian. When you look at all these partnerships, they're best in class, they're industry leading. And so, if somebody wants to know where are things going, or what are some problems that people have and who's going to fix them, we're in a really good position to help and be a part of that conversation.
I'm glad you mentioned too those partnerships with Emerald and CEDIA as an association, because two of the announcements that I really wanted to touch on were that you're a sponsor for CEDIA, the association's their town hall for government affairs, which is a really important event for them. So that's a very serious area, not just a party. But then on the fun side, which is what Origin is going to have to do a little bit of, at least, is you're going to have a DJ there as you come into the show every day, just to kind of get everybody's energy level up. And how did that all come about with those two partnerships?
Yeah, it's a great question. So, with CEDIA, they had reached out and asked if we had interest in this, and it was a program that Joe Whitaker was really passionate about prior and had been involved in a bit. And so when we kind of got involved and started hearing about it, we were like, absolutely, we'd love to participate. For those that aren't aware of it, basically CEDIA has a program where they go out and are watching, laws that are trying to be passed in markets that can impact the low voltage industry. And a lot of people don't realize that, like, all the time, there are things that are happening where a government is looking at, trying to unionize things or require electrical license to pull low voltage, or various things like that really negatively impact our industry and all these small entrepreneurial businesses that exist because of this cool tech space that we're in. And the challenge is that if one or two of these start to get approved and pass, it sets the precedent moving forward, and that can start to spread throughout the rest of the country. And so CEDIA has done a great job of following what's being, put out there and going after it, but they really need the help of the dealers as well and the manufacturers. I mean, this is one of those things where it's not about us as a manufacturer, it's about us as an industry, and we need to stand united and support CEDIA, who's an organization about our industry, who's going out there and making sure that these laws don't affect, our companies and our businesses. So they're hosting a breakfast with at 7:30. Starts at, I think, 7:00 on the first day of the show on Thursday. Everything will wrap up before the show starts, but they'll have a panel discussion there. We're going to be providing an exclusive shirt that's designed to support this event and really designed for dealers to wear to these town hall meetings and things where CEDIA is going and show that support. Because again, if you're not involved, you may end up finding out that you all of a sudden have a lot more, hoops you need to jump through as a custom integrator to do work in your market. And so this is a big deal and it's important. Registration's still open. We just had a press release went out today on it. So if you Google online, you'll probably find our press release. I'm sure you guys will probably have it posted at some point in the next couple of days or so. And encourage everybody to register. There's breakfast there. There's a panel discussion explaining how to get involved. And, again, just take an hour or two and learn more about it because it really is important for our space for everybody to get behind it. As far as the welcoming event, again, we're talking about evolving and we're talking about, kind of the direction we're going, but we're still a fun company. And as much as we may be talking design and architects and these things, we're also still Origin Acoustics. So, we're still going to have events that are going to be fun. We're still going to be hanging out with our dealers and our customers and partners. But the welcoming event was really an opportunity to just, say hi to everybody as they come in and bring up the energy for the show. So right where the buses drop off for the show, there will be a DJ there, as you mentioned. We'll be showing off our ambisonic line array products. One of the things that we've done really well with is that line array product. And the challenge is we can't really demo it in our booth because it would just disrupt everybody. And so, but when people come by our show or our experience center and they get a chance, we manufacture that product right here in this building. And so what's cool is we'll bring people back and they'll see, these line arrays set up and we'll play them and they sound amazing. But that's the first time normally people have had a chance to hear them because we just can't show them at the show. So we'll have a live DJ there. We've got these line arrays. And then while we aren't really allowed to market it this way, but we've got a bit of a agreement with Monster energy drinks. So they're going to actually be there providing free energy drinks to everybody on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of the show, which is going to be awesome. I'll leave it at that, but I'll just say, come and have a drink, come and listen to some speakers, get hyped up. For us, this is going to be the biggest CEDIA show we've ever done. So we're extremely excited. We want to have everybody come and bring that energy and have a good time because, that's what our industry is about. It's about the relationships and people getting together, and people haven't been able to really get together for the last couple of years. So.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to wrap up. I think Origin was one of the few companies handful of companies that were able to make it last year to CEDIA in Indianapolis. I was thrilled to see the energy just from a few booths, and one of them was Origin. And I heard those speakers because, frankly, there wasn't a lot of people saying no to anything at that point. We're just happy to have a show of any kind, and they could be heard from the other side of the hall. So I know what you mean. They can't really they're not fair to have them out there competing with everybody else. But I think that's great.
With so many of our dealers doing commercial projects now, whether it's house of worship or bars or restaurants, those types of things, I mean, it's a great solution. And there's really nobody else. There are not a lot of companies in our space that have that category. So you kind of have to go into the commercial world. And let's face it, people, when we're doing projects like that, they'd rather do business with companies they know, not buying through a distributor, buying some product they've never played around with. So, the ambisonic product's amazing. And like I said, everybody will enjoy getting a wake-up call when they come to the show and experience it. So
very good. Well, Gordon, I really appreciate you taking the time out there during Bang Olufsen training at the Las Vegas headquarters, and good catching up before the show. I'm going to I have a booth appointment set up already, and I'll get to see everything in person. Looking forward to it.
Sounds good. We're looking forward to it too. Like I said, we got a lot of new announcements coming. We're going to have an experience room there. We're going to be talking more about this Evolve story so people can understand how they can get involved and how they can work better with their architects and designers and what we're doing to help out with that. And so it's, like I said, we're gearing up for it to be the biggest show ever. So for anyone that's been to an Origin booth in the past and seen how much fun it is, this year is going to be even crazier. So.
Great. Well, we're looking forward to it. Gordon Isaac is Chief Marketing and Strategy Officer for Origin Acoustics. You can learn more about Origin at originacoustics.com. And that wraps up today's show. If you're new to Residential Tech Talks, please subscribe to the weekly podcast on your preferred platform and consider rating or reviewing us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, check out all the latest residential tech news at the magazine's website, restechtoday.com, where you can also subscribe to the print or digital magazine and to our Tuesday and Friday email newsletters. Until next time, please stay safe, stay inspired, and let us know if you have a great story to tell.
Residential Tech Talk, lighting specialist to residential tech.
Home automation, smart device, home or smart house.